Andrew Garfield has been all over the place when it comes to Spider-Man No Way Home leaks. At first, they didn't exist, and then they were photoshops. Then he could possibly be in the movie, but then he says he's probably not. And then he says that he knows everything that happens in the film despite not being in it. Now he says that the end result will disappoint fans if they're hoping to see everything that he thinks they're hoping to see. I don't know, man. I'm just happy Spider-Man's still in the MCU, so that's all I really want. So again, in a follow-up interview with Newsweek, Andrew Garfield was asked to elaborate and talk a little bit more about Spider-Man and his return in Spider-Man No Way Home, the rumors, and all that. And he said that despite knowing everything that's going on, and seeing what's going on, and knowing it, and looking at the fan demand and everything, he did say, and I quote, "I'm afraid it's going to be very disappointing for people," end quote. And then he added, and I quote, "allow people to have their own feelings," end quote. And that was in response to what does he mean by this? So what exactly could he mean by this? Well, there's many ways people will be disappointed in regards to this film. And again, I've covered these here and I've talked about it. We've talked about it on the podcast. Sam Raimi fans are convinced that unless this is Spider-Man 4 and Tobey Maguire is the central star of the entire film, they don't want this and they think that he cannot be a glorified cameo, which is what most people think he will be. Same thing with Andrew Garfield. Like, people are convinced and they've already built a film inside their head that the final product cannot possibly live up to unless for some miracle they can somehow pull off everything that every fan base wants, which honestly, I see that as almost impossible. Like, I am personally friends with people who hate Infinity War and Endgame because of Natasha and the Hawkeye thing. They literally hate those two films. It's their least favorite MCU films because of the decisions they made. Again, they were severely disappointed with those two entries for the MCU. I also know a few people who literally hate the MCU now because Bucky did not end up getting the shield and become Captain America. There is nothing you can say to them, no reason or anything that you could give them for why Sam was the better choice. They're convinced should have been Bucky because Bucky me like Bucky, Bucky now, Captain me, Bucky now. There's always going to be a degree of disappointment, no matter what. You cannot meet every expectation. Does this mean that Andrew Garfield is not in the film? Maybe he does. Maybe he's not. Maybe they cut him out of it because it didn't fit in. We don't know. We just don't have any idea. But him saying that people are going to be disappointed, that can be interpreted in many ways. That's like when somebody tells me, "Oh, I bet you're going to be disappointed with The Witcher Season 2. Well, yeah, of course I am, because I'm comparing it to the games and the most superior piece of content that The Witcher has, which is the books. And they're not really doing things on par with those. So yeah, I'm going to be disappointed with Season 2. I mean, I'm still going to watch it, I'm going to enjoy it, but I know, as a diehard Witcher fan, that it's just never going to meet those expectations. So I'm going to be somewhat disappointed. But quotes like this can also be, taken in multiple different ways, and you can interpret them in so many different ways on top of that to whatever your own desires and needs and everything are. So, are we going to be disappointed? I guarantee you some people will be raging after they see the film. Some people will be rather happy. And there'll be people like me that are like, you know what, that's good for what it was. Let's move on to the next thing. I'm excited. And then, of course, there will be entire channels built upon hating the concept of it and thrive off of it for years to come. Just like they still do off of Kathleen Kennedy still seems to get the clicks. So there you go. It'll be kind of like that for some people.